What's up, good people?
Amazing octaves.
Amazing octaves. David Taub coming to you from nextlevelguitar.com, and I thought today we would show you a little bit of how to throw in some octaves into your playing and a few different musical examples, maybe into your rhythms and into some lead playing. And I'm going to roll in close and show you these octaves up close, and you will hear this in so much music. Popular music today. So many bands use this in melodies of songs as well as in lead playing. Bands like the Foo Fighters, you hear them using these octaves a lot. Bush, and just tons and tons and tons of bands. And you'll hear it a lot in lead playing too if you listen for those octaves. And what I'm talking about when I say an octave, I'm talking about a note that you play, and you play that same note either 12 notes above or below a given note. So it's the same note. For instance, like you could play your low E string, right? And then if you play like at the second fret, if I play this E on the second fret on the D string, that's the same note, but it's 12 notes higher. Then another 12 notes, I have the open high E. So it's the same note, just 12 notes higher or lower, because there's 12 notes in Western music. That's it.
Just okay. 12.
There's 12. So after the 12 notes, they start repeating again. So you can play these octaves, and you can hear. So I'm playing here, for instance, a C note, and if I go 12 notes above that, I play a higher C, and you get these octaves, and you can throw these into your playing all the time, and they sound really cool.
It just so you can slide all the way up. You don't move your position.
Yeah, exactly. You can move it around and not have to change positions. You'll just have to get your fingers closer together, because as you go down the fretboard, the frets are spaced closer. But pretty much you could just move these all around. I'm going to show you how to do that. So think melodically when you're playing. You could use a system of a down. There's another band where you'll hear a lot of octave playing with the rhythm, fast 16th notes or whatever. So let me show you up close some of the shapes. And if you want to study this more in depth, you can go to our website at nextlevelguitar.com. Okay, so here I am with a nice tight shot of the neck, and let me show you a couple of easy octave positions just to get you going. And I'll show you how to do them. Let's take a G note on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and then I'm going to play the octave. I'm going to not play the A string, and I'm going to go down to the G note, which is at the 5th fret on the D string. That's 12 notes above this G. Now to play this two together, you cannot play the A string. So what I do is I hook my finger. The A string is muted. So I'm playing the G and the G. The A string I'm muting. And how I'm muting that is instead of barring this finger, I'm hooking it. So that A string is muted out. So you see I'm not playing it flat like this because I am hooking it over, so a little bit of the finger touches the middle string, or the A string, therefore canceling. So I'm going to hit all 3 strings, but you only hear 2. You only hear the low E and the D. So if I don't mute that string out, and if you hear it, it'll sound like this. It sounds terrible because it adds that other interval, that open A string. You don't want that. See, here it is muted. If you just want to hear the G and the high G. Not the high G, but 1 octave up G. Now, I can also take that same shape and drop it down 1 string each, and I could play the C note, which is at the 3rd fret. And again, that same shape is going to get me another octave. Again, I skip over now the D string, and I go to the G string on the 5th fret. For that C, and there's my C octave. See, this is movable. Same thing with the... That's the beauty about these, you just can move them around. So on the 5th string root, there's my C. Again, mute out that D string. Okay? And move them around. Practice just moving them around. And then when you get good at that, then you could start sliding them. And that's what they do in a lot of songs, what you hear. All octaves. Now, that shape does not work when you get down to the D string, because you could try and play it here, and you don't have it, remember, because your intervals change, and you have to, instead of using your 3rd finger, I use my pinky, you got to go an extra fret when you play the last 2 octaves on the root on the G and the root on the, the root on the D and the G. And that's because like when you tune your guitar, you're always wondering, you're always, why you have to go outside for this one, for the B string. And that's because all the intervals are a fourth apart, but when you get down here, it's a third to the B. That's why you got to go outside. And you could say, well, why just don't they make that a fourth too? Well, if they did, then you wouldn't be able to finger a lot of chords. It would make it very, very difficult. You'd have to get a far stretch. So to make it easier in standard tuning, A440, that's why. So all the strings are a fourth apart, except when you go outside to get the B. So that changes the octave here. So instead of playing it like this, because now I'm on the third fret, I'm on this F note, on the D string. In order to play an F, see, this is our shape on the E and the A string roots, but when I go down to the D, I can't play that. See, that's an E. I need that next interval. I need the F. There's my octave.
The fifth string are the easy ones.
Right.
Start with those.
Exactly. And here's my octave on the D string. And then similarly, again though, I'm muting out the middle string. You got to mute that middle string. Don't flatten your finger. Hook it. So you're muting the fifth string. So I'm hitting 3. String, which you're only hearing 2. And then similarly, when I go down to the G string, now I'm playing this A sharp note on the third fret. And again, I can't play the A note with my third finger like the shape I used up here. I got to again use my pinky. And there's your octave. So you can hear these octaves. Train your ear to pick up those octaves. Same note, 12 notes higher. So on those two strings, so practice going. And again, you can move those around on the high strings. And what I do a lot in my lead playing is, for instance, like if I'm playing a line like, something like, if I'm playing on the high E string, I'm playing like the A, the B, the C, and maybe the D notes. 5th, 7th, 8th, and 10th frets, like if I'm playing a, I don't know, like an A Dorian kind of line or whatnot, but I'll play those octaves. So I'll play something like, see, I just go right up the scale in the octave shape. So that's a very cool thing to do. So watch your pinky and just slide it around. And this finger's kind of along for the ride. And you can do the same thing on the B string. And again, I'm just trying to get my other two fingers out of the way. And you can come up with some nice licks and riffs that way. So practice that, but a lot of the rhythmic things you hear on a lot of popular bands, they're doing the rhythmic stuff like on the low E string root, so they're playing like this shape. Here I am on the 5th fret, that's an A, and I play the octave. And again, I'm hitting 3 strings, but the middle one is muted. Same thing on the A string root. So practice sliding them around, and if you know the scale notes, like if I play a B minor scale or something, B, C sharp, D, E, then I'm going to go to my F sharp, G, A, and B, I can move, just run that whole octave shape. I'll do it slow. Okay? And now why that is so cool is you can kind of pick out notes, hop back and forth, and come up with a cool melody line. Like, and all I'm doing there is I'm playing a scale, but I'm playing it with an octave note instead of playing like in B minor or D major, however you want to look at that. Or I'll go up 1, 2, 3, and then back up a note and then play 3. Mess it up. Something like that. So mess around with that, move them around, and have fun.
Rock on.